At 2:13 in the morning, her phone lit up. It wasn't a call. It wasn't from family or a friend. It was a message from a man she had never met. It came from a time zone that didn't match where he said he was. Her name isn't the point. What matters is what her life looked like right before he arrived. Her husband had died just months earlier, and after the funeral, the world moved on. People checked in at first, then less, and then not at all. The nights were the worst. They were quiet, predictable, and empty. It's the kind of quiet where you notice every notification, especially the ones that shouldn't be there. The first message wasn't romantic. There was no flirting, no compliments. It was just one sentence. I saw what you wrote. I'm sorry for your loss. No emojis, no follow-up, no pressure. It didn't feel copied. It felt specific. Too specific. He introduced himself slowly. He said he worked overseas. He never named the company or the city, just overseas. When she asked what he did, he gave answers that sounded complete without actually saying anything. Long hours, security restrictions, bad signal. There was always a reason why details couldn't be shared. He didn't message her constantly. Some days, there was nothing at all. Then suddenly, long, thoughtful replies would appear. He remembered things she didn't expect anyone to remember. A specific date, a sentence she'd said, a small detail she mentioned only once. He even seemed to remember things she couldn't recall telling him. At the time, she saw it as him being caring. Later, it would feel more like he was collecting data. He never tried to replace her husband. In fact, he talked about him respectfully. Once he said, "He sounds like someone who protected you." She had never used that word herself. Protected, but she didn't question it. She was just grateful someone was saying her husband's name. Weeks turned into a routine. Good mornings, long nights. Voice notes started replacing texts. Whenever she sounded tired, he'd tell her to rest. Whenever she sounded unsure, he would reassure her. He never pushed. He just waited. And every time she pulled back, he slowed down. That made her feel safe. But that was the trap. The first problem he mentioned sounded harmless. A wallet issue, a temporary restriction on his account. He brought it up casually, like a complaint, not a request. Then he went quiet. Hours later, she messaged him to ask if he was okay. He replied, "It's nothing. I'll handle it." She offered to help. He declined at first. Then he paused and said, "Unless—" "No, forget it." And that's when she insisted. He told her how to send the money. It wasn't a bank transfer or a wire. It was gift cards. He explained it calmly, almost too calmly, like someone who had explained it many times before. When she sent the codes, he responded instantly. There was no delay, no confusion, just relief. After that, everything intensified. More attention, more affection, more talk about the future. He spoke about them meeting, but he never set a date. It was always soon or when this all clears up. Every promise was conditional, always just one step away. The second problem came with a sense of urgency. A document needed to be signed. A clearance fee had to be paid. The story was different, but the structure was exactly the same. It was temporary, embarrassing, and this was the final step. This time, he said, "I hate that money is always the thing that makes people leave." She sent it. Because at that point, not sending the money felt like she was proving him right. From the outside, this part of the story looks obvious, but from the inside, it felt logical. She wasn't paying for a stranger. She was paying for the person who stayed awake with her when she couldn't sleep, the voice that filled the silence in her house at night, the presence that made the loneliness bearable. And after that second payment, any doubt became dangerous. Because if it was all a lie, then everything she felt, all her vulnerability, had been used against her. So she chose to trust him even harder. Then he disappeared. Not slowly, not suspiciously, but instantly. No replies, no delivery checks, just gone. She tried to tell herself it made sense. The time zones, his work, the security issues, the same reasons he had always used. The next message arrived late. It was short and direct. "I'm in trouble." No greeting, no warmth, just pure urgency, and a request for a number that didn't feel temporary anymore. He said it was the last obstacle, the final barrier. "If this doesn't work," he said, "I don't know what will happen." He didn't say goodbye. He didn't say thank you. He just waited. She moved money she couldn't afford to move. And after that, there was nothing. The account vanished. The chat history broke. The photos disappeared. He wasn't just blocked. The profile was deleted. It was like the entire exit had been prepared in advance. This wasn't a relationship. It was a sequence. He didn't guess what she needed. He observed it. He didn't rush her. He calibrated his timing to hers. He didn't exploit love. He exploited timing and vulnerability. Romance scammers don't hunt for money first. They hunt for patterns. They hunt for silence. And once they understand how you respond, they know exactly when to ask for what they want. If someone enters your life and everything feels right, but it's happening too quickly, just pause. Because the most convincing lie online is the one that arrives when you need comfort the most. This was a true story, and it's happening to someone right now. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health or feelings of loneliness, please know there are people who want to help. You can find resources in the description below. Thanks for listening. Stay safe.